Hello, welcome to our second video of Woman. In our first video we saw what a universal problem for thousands of years it has been the devaluation of women because it has spread throughout the planet, and this cause is much deeper than culture or tradition. One of the reasons why the problem of women has been such a difficult matter to solve is because it is not easy to change the mindset. Even if legislation or policy is made, changing the way of thinking is not easy. This deep-seated devaluation is the reason overall, women continue to be ignored and exploited in almost every society in the world, despite some political and social advances. In industrialized nations, as in developing nations, the problem is real. Male domination, with phrases like "stay in your place," "you have no contribution to make." Thoughts like this have prevailed in our society for thousands of years. For example, women can declare that they are equal to men, and the society can try to put this into practice, but the attitudes of men, and also of women, do not necessarily agree with this change in position, and still there is a lot of confusion on the role of women to this day. The movements of women only in the recent past, and mainly in the industrialized nations, have argued that the devaluation of women is not correct. This protest has been manifested in various women's movements. It is worth mentioning that it was not until very recently that women had the right to vote in many countries. Even for the United States of America, it is only recently that women have been considered valuable and significant contributors to the mainstream of society. Part of this change came through 2 world wars and the Great Depression that altered people's perception of women's role and abilities. While the men were away fighting, women were necessary to assume the functions and jobs that men had traditionally performed. After World War II, men returned to their jobs, and women were expected to return to their previous roles, but the taboo was lifted against women who work and contribute in areas such as business and government had broken, and although the traditional views of women predominated, the culture had undergone a very great change. Again, we need to understand women by their nature. If we consider the issue of women's rights from this point of view, it will give us a more appropriate approach to solve the problems faced by women. Much of the discussion on women's rights focuses on what women are capable of doing and what they are allowed to do. The fundamental question, from which all other questions can be derived, is not what a woman does. The big question is who she is and the implications of who she is. When we understand who a woman is within her nature, then her roles in life will be seen in a completely different light, and the conflicts between men and women about the situation can begin to be resolved. By last, the temptation of women who have been devalued at a specific time through social discrimination is to want to make men disappear or treat them as if they were enemies. To do this would be to ignore our training and how we were created to work together. The result of such action would be very detrimental to the potential and advancement of the woman herself, and no advancement would be achieved with this. The purpose is to create a better world for women and men, in the way the world was meant to be. Until our next video.